on our call. We're going to get this, and we're going to try to record this so it'll be available for later. We know everybody's busy with work and family and chores and just life in general. So we really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight. My name is Justin Helms, and this is my wife, Jamie. We are excited to get to explain to you about what we're so excited about and tell you a little bit about what it is. I can promise you that the people who invited you on this call, they're equally as excited about what we're going to be talking about tonight, and glad that you're going to get to hear this. And I can tell you, if they invited you, they truly love you and they care about you. At the end of the day, is why you're here. So we're really glad you're here. So like Jamie said, we want to be mindful of everybody's time. So we're going to kind of go through this quickly tonight. So take a look at this. Write down any questions that you might have. We'll address all of those at the end of our talk. It's going to take, like I said, about an hour. And we'll keep moving through this. But where we're going to start with is an ABC investigative report from 2020 that aired way back in 2005. And the reason we want to start there is because this is where the story starts for LifeVantage and ProTandem. And it's a super, just strong story that shows how good this product is. And so, honestly, when we saw this video for the first time, we were blown away. And the only question we had after we watched this video is, how do we get this in our body? Right? So that's why we think it's important to start with this little 5-minute video. After we watch the video, Jamie's going to come on and she's going to update you on kind of what's happened with the company since that video aired. We're going to talk at a high level about some of the third-party peer-reviewed research that validates everything that will be said on this call tonight, okay? So you don't have to believe Justin or Jamie or whoever invited you. We have third-party validation that this does what we're going to tell you it does 100% of the time on 100% of the people that take this. All right, and then I'll come back. Jamie's going to talk about some of the products that employ this same technology that's called nutrigenomics, and we'll talk about what nutrigenomics is. And then I'm going to talk about, answer that question, how do we get this in our bodies? What's the best strategy for being able to implement this in our health strategy? Okay. And then while we're doing this, I just want you to kind of think about 3 questions that I thought about that I wanted to kind of start this off with. And I didn't come up with these questions to try to trick you or manipulate you in any way, but it's just something that Jamie and I have been going through recently. At our church, our pastor's been talking about, not conforming to this world, but being transformed. And this is exactly what's happening here, guys. And, there's this lie that we probably have all been told and believe it to some degree, that if something is too good to be true, then what? It probably is, right? That is a terrible lie, and I believe it can prevent you from having all that God really has for you, right? So I think a better version of that would be, if something is too good to be true, then let's check it out because you don't want to miss it. The truth is, statistics will tell you that you're only going to be afforded 2 once-in-a-lifetime opportunities in your life, right? Jamie and I 100% believe this without a doubt. This is one of ours, and we're so excited about that we get to share this with you. Okay, so I'll go ahead and share these questions with you, and then we'll get started. So the first question, think about this. How would you feel or act if your body functioned like it did when you were 20 years old? It'd be pretty great, right? What would it be like if you could live a longer, healthier life and help others you love do the same thing? How would that make you feel? Right? We all love to help each other, right? And then lastly, what would it be worth with this new, better version of you to have time freedom to enjoy the things you love with the ones you love whenever you wanted? So, guys, that's really what it's about, is being able to spend time with the ones you love pouring into them and having them pour into you. And that's really what gets us so excited. It's really why we get on these calls and we do this, is because we get to add value to you. And then in turn, you guys do the same for us and make us better because of it. So with that, we'll go ahead and start the video and get into this. That's it right there.
Sorry.
Play. Okay, here we go. Do it again.
BBC primetime investigative report that aired in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig. Dr. McCord, okay. I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist. This is pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And as decades of experiments, they have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill. And for me, it begins with a blood test.
Yeah, there we go.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company. They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
As it's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough.
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful. So, Doctor, how often do I take these? And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. Doesn't taste bad. It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Whether that will lead to longer life is still unknown. Experiments to see if mice live longer are about to get underway, but it's a tantalizing theory.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many diseases.
Have you discovered the fountain of youth?
I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down. So you can see the age-related
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. Will Protandim work on me? But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result, my level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
Would you suggest I keep taking this supplement?
I would.
And so, ancient Eastern healing and modern Western medicine may soon be working together. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these: strokes, heart attacks, even mental disease. Yes, depression, Alzheimer's disease, depression. But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. But because it's being sold as a nutritional supplement and not a drug, Protandim does not need FDA approval for safety.
Protandim NRF.
Okay, so I'm going to stop there. We can send you the rest of the video, and the rest of the video, what it does is just shares with you what the rest of the story kind of afterward, but I'm going to give you a little bit more of an in-depth an in-depth explanation of that. So let me get my slideshow started. And hold on just a second, because my computer is acting a little slow today. So really what happened in that ABC video is, I think Dr. McCord and John Quiones and the other scientists that were present there in that ABC investigative report, they had no idea really what they were going to create. They had no idea that today we would be sitting here from Alabama and be talking about this amazing new science that they started to, that they kind of brought into the normal everyday person's life. And so that science is called nutrigenomics. And that is a science that I have not been familiar with before. I finished my degree in molecular biology at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. And so when this was first introduced to me, I was just kind of shocked, because I thought, I should know about this. I should know about oxidative stress. I should have heard of the word nutrigenomics, but it's such a new science and Dr. McCord there, who is in the video, he is known as the father of free radical biology. So if you're sitting here going, why haven't I heard of this product before? Just know that you're not alone. But nutrigenomics is a new science, and LifeVantage is on the forefront of this science. And so what is nutrigenomics? It's actually the scientific study of the interaction of nutrition and naturally occurring compounds and how they can affect our DNA. And so it's so big that the Today Show, ABC, PBS, all of these news organizations have done stories on nutrigenomics and how it's really starting to take over. And so right now, the healthcare market, the personalized healthcare market, which is nutrigenomics, does over $600 billion a year in this new science. So it's not has not met its full potential by any means, and it's just exciting to see what Dr. McCord brought to the forefront. So let me tell you a little bit about the company. So that ABC video aired in 2005. There was a bunch of scientists. They were sitting in a lab. They were small biotech company. And the next day, at the end of the video, it used to say, contact ABC for ordering information. Well, the next day, they got over $1 million worth of orders. Well, these scientists in this very small biotech company had no infrastructure in place, but they were publicly traded. Their shares went from under $1 a share to over $20 a share, and that was just completely on the prospect that they knew that this was going to take off and go like crazy. Well, it took Dr. McCord and all of them over a year to get everything in place. These Protandim was on the shelves of CVS, Rite Aid, Walmart, and it sat there on the shelves, and nobody knew what it was. The bottle said to take this to reduce oxidative stress. Well, I just told you I didn't know what that was, and I'm sure you may not have heard of that term either. And so nobody knew what it was. So the bottles sold less than 1 bottle a month per store. And so the company just started kind of falling to the wayside, started to get close to bankruptcy, and they called in a consultant. And the consultant saw the ABC video and said, oh my goodness, this is amazing. This has a story to tell, and you need to send it into peer-to-peer distribution. Dr. McCord did not love that, and so he said, well, let's go on a trial basis. So they went head-to-head, peer-to-peer distribution versus store retail, and peer-to-peer distribution in the first 90 days outsold the stores by 300%. It saved his company, and they pulled it off of the retail shelves, and so as of 2009, this is the only way that you can get Protandim and the products of LifeVantage. So didn't turn out to be this amazing story of Protandim going crazy all over the world in 2005, but here's what it did do, and this is what makes this company so different from every other company. Not only did the American public see that 2020 ABC investigative report, but research institutions saw it also. And so there's so many research institutions that reached out to Dr. McCord and said, hey, we'd like to study your product in regards to how it will work on this disease state or this disease state or this disease state. So as of today, 2018, there are 23 peer-reviewed published studies that are on PubMed.gov on the branded supplement of Protandim. And I'll get to that in a little bit, but it's unbelievable. That's just an amazing thing. So we grew from less than $10 million a year to over $200 million a year after they went to this peer-to-peer distribution model. So let's kind of talk about what is oxidative stress. I already shared with you, I had no idea what it was, but really what it is it's the damage that free radicals do to your cells. So what does that mean to you? It's just kind of like the rusting of your cells. So there's a great picture here, like an apple. You cut an apple, set it up on the countertop, and within just a couple hours, the apple starts turning brown and wilting. Well, that's what happens to our cells. That's what oxidative stress does to each individual cell in our body, and the cells that are completely throughout our body. So where does oxidative stress come from? It comes from our environment, the things that we eat, our cell phones, the microwaves that we use, the batteries that and they're all around us, the genetically mutated food that's in our bodies now. And so there is no way that you can get away from oxidative stress. And I don't know if you're like me, but it seems like there seems to be so many young people that are having such diseases at a really early age. Crazy stuff. MS is huge down here in Alabama. And so as we kind of go through this, I just want you to think about those people that maybe you think they are too young. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, my grandparents, they didn't have friends that were in their 30s that had all these complicated disease states. Well, that's due to the oxidative stress and the things that have occurred in our environment. So what does oxidative stress affect in our body? On PubMed.gov, there are over 170,000 published articles on oxidative stress and specific disease states. So it affects your heart. It can cause hypertension, myocardial infarction, CHF, your eyes, macular retinal degeneration, cataracts. diabetes, chronic fatigue syndrome, blood vessels, atherosclerosis, endothelial dysfunction, immune system, chronic inflammation, autoimmune disorders, lupus, MS, cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, OCD, autism, migraines, stroke, cancer, lungs, CHF, and the list just goes on and on and on. Kidneys, joints, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, dermatitis, melanoma, that's a big one. And so as you can see, if there's a cell in your body that creates an organ, that cell and organ can be affected by oxidative stress. So really, why should we care? Well, these institutions, like I said, they decided, hey, this is crazy. There's an amazing connection. So this is a list of some of the institutions and pharmaceutical companies who have done research on oxidative stress and the NRF2 pathway, which I'll kind of get to and explain here in a minute. But some of these stand out really big to me. LSU, that's a huge SEC school down here, and I'll share with you what their study was on, but they studied protandum and melanoma. You can see right there in the middle, American Heart Association. They published a peer-reviewed study in their Journal of Circulation on protandum and how it can prevent inflammation in the blood vessels. And so one of the things, we have attracted to this company several cardiologists, and one of the famous lines that one of my favorite cardiologists says is, the American Heart Association never prints snake oil. So when he saw that this was published and in the American Heart Association's Journal of Circulation, he knew that this was something that he had to look at. Also on the left, I'd like to point out the National Institute of Aging. If you go back to that video in 2005, if you go back, and they said they were dealing with the mice, and they said they were about to begin a 10-year study on if this will extend lifespan. And I'll touch back on that again. But John Hopkins, and over here on the right, I love what Justin said. If this sounds like it's too good to be true, we've always been told, well, it probably is. So you might be sitting there like I was initially and thought, if this is so amazing, why are there not pharmaceutical versions of it? Why does my internal medicine doctor not know about it? And so it's coming. These are some pharmaceutical companies over here that have started producing NRF2 activators, which is what protandum is. And so let me talk about really what that little yellow pill does for our body. So there's always been a thought process in medicine of let's get antioxidants in our body. And so you've probably been told that drink your orange juice, eat berries, maybe have a glass of red wine, and eat all of these healthy things. Well, what we know now in modern medicine is doing direct antioxidants really hasn't changed the disease state of people. It has not prevented heart attacks. It has not prevented diabetes. And so what we know now after the human genome has been mapped is that direct antioxidants they only neutralize one free antioxidant, neutralizes one free radical. Well, free radical damage happens so much in our bodies, there's no way you could eat enough direct antioxidants to keep up with the free radical damage that occurs in your body every day. So you'd have to eat, I think it's like 36 pounds of blueberries a day. I know you'd have to drink 67 glasses of red wine to be able to combat all of the direct free radical damage that occurs in your cells. So there's an amazing thing that God put in our bodies, and that's our own antioxidants. We make our own antioxidants. And so we produce, these are the big three: catalase, glutathione, and SOD. And so our bodies genetically, it's in our DNA, in our genetic makeup. Our body produces all of these antioxidants really at a high level until we turn about 20. Like I said, I think that's kind of going down because of all of the amounts of oxidative stress that we're getting from our environment. I think we're seeing people having a reduced amount of these enzymes even before 20 now. But what we have, and Dr. McCord and these scientists have discovered, is that we can turn back on genetically the ability for your body to start making your own antioxidants again. And so why is that important? Because there's a firefighter in this picture, because our own antioxidants that our body naturally makes, they reduce 1 million free radicals per 1 molecule of our own antioxidants every second of every day. And so the analogy is, it's like you have in a house fire, and you're with the direct antioxidants, you're just throwing a Dixie cup of water on this house fire. That's what you're doing if you're only using direct antioxidants to combat disease and oxidative stress. But if we can activate our NRF2 pathway, get our antioxidants going again in our cells, it's like having a fire hose in not your body, but having a fire hose in every single cell of your body. And so we're able to reduce a lot of that oxidative stress, and a lot of oxidative stress is related to disease and aging. And so that is what is so unbelievably different about what we are bringing to you tonight. There's a lot of noise in the world of supplements. But one thing that I just super want to get across to you tonight is that there is a difference in activating your body and supplementing your body. This is not a supplementer. This is not a supplement. This is not something that you just take to make yourself better. This actually goes into your DNA and activates your genes again to create your own antioxidants. And we have a lot of research that proves that it does that. So this is Protandim NRF2 Synergizer. The reason it's called NRF2 is a pathway in your body of genes. And the pathway is just kind of like a row of light switches. That's the best way to think about it. And when we activate our NRF2 pathway, we go and we flip on all of the great things that our body needs, like that glutathione catalase and SOD, and getting rid of fibrosis in our body. And it also down regulates the things like inflammation in our body. And so Protandim is the only supplement proven in a clinical study to reduce oxidative stress in humans by an average of 40% in 30 days. And the study also goes on to say that it reduces oxidative stress 70% in 120 days. In the ABC investigative report, you saw that John Keone's, his oxidative stress was reduced in 2 weeks to 40%, or the level of a newborn baby. And so if we know that we can reduce your oxidative stress, that's going to have a positive impact on your body. So going back to that NIA-funded study, the National Institute of Aging, which is our United States government, they came and they did a 10-year study on Protandim. And Protandim was the only natural product that was proven to extend lifespan. And it was proven to extend lifespan by 7%. And that may not seem tons to you, but I just want to tell you a little bit of my story. So my mom was diagnosed with a really rare disease when I was 12 years old. I didn't think that she would live to see me graduate high school, let alone graduate high school, get married, and have a child. And so I had a child, and at the age of 9 months old, my son was 9 months old, my mom passed away. And so I was introduced to Protandim, and I'd been taking it for a while. And one day I was just kind of thinking, and I thought, you know, I'm super sciencey and love science. And so I read that study, and I thought, 7%, that doesn't sound like much. Like what is 7% in my life? So I just kind of got a calculator, and I figured out what is 7% in my mom's life. If my mom would have had 7% more time here on earth with me, my child, how would that have impacted me? And here's what it would have done. She would have lived to have been 54. So she would have been able to spend several more years with my son. And she also would have met my second child, Abby, who is now 14, and didn't get the privilege of meeting her grandma on this side of eternity. And so this wasn't around in 2002 when my mom was sick with an autoimmune disease. But that day, the day she passed away, I made it a point in my life that I thought, I'm not going to go down with disease. I'm going to be preventative and proactive in preventing disease from coming into my life, because I want to be here for my children and my grandchildren. And so that day when I just kind of realized, what does 7% mean to me, was a huge impact. And so that is why I will never go a day without Protandim in my body. And plus of all the unbelievable, amazing things that have happened in my life. But that's part of it. I wanted to just kind of give you a little clip, but what is NRF2? Let me tell you a little bit more about NRF2 medicine. So NRF2 medicine, NRF2 pathway, and the study of NRF2 pathway in medicine is about to explode in Western medicine. And why I say that is because there's pharmaceuticals that are coming onto the market every year that have been developed off of the same exact science that Protandim came from. So that NRF2 pathway, which is the genetic pathway I was telling you that turns on your own antioxidants, is being studied like crazy too. And whoever invited you to the call can give you that website, or I'll give it to you one more time. But you can go to www.pubmed.gov. That's the government website that shows every peer-reviewed medical research article out there. Just go in there and put oxidative stress in there and maybe diabetes or oxidative stress and cancer. Put whatever it is that you're kind of maybe dealing with and see if there's a connection. But also put in NRF2. And NRF2 is really kind of coming into the everyday conversation in medicine. And this is an article that was published by Washington State, not by LifeVantage or anything. It actually has nothing to do with LifeVantage, but their conclusion was the NRF2 science may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and the most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. And so the amazing thing is Dr. McCord and LifeVantage, we were way ahead of the curve. This was published in 2015, and the ABC investigative report came out in 2005. So we have a 10-year jump on Western medicine, and they're just starting to come around. This is another one, Oregon State. They did a research on NRF2, and it says when it finds a problem, NRF2 pathway essentially goes back to the cellular nucleus, rings the alarm bell, where it can turn on up to 200 genes that are responsible for cell repair, detoxification of carcinogens, protein and lipid metabolism, antioxidant protection, and other actions. In their report, the scientists called it a longevity assurance factor. So Oregon State put that out, and the awesome thing is we have a 10-year federally funded study that proves that by taking Protandim and activating your NRF2 pathway, you can at least guarantee that you will extend your lifespan by 7%, or the longevity assurance factor. So here's another study. This one blew my mind. So this was published in the Multiple Sclerosis Journal. Go back to those pharmaceutical companies I was talking about. There's a pharmaceutical company called Biogen Idec, and they were developing a NRF2 activator, a pharmaceutical version, to help treat muscular sclerosis. So they came to LifeVantage and asked if they could study Protandim head-to-head with their synthetic drug, and along with another synthetic drug, and broccoli sprouts, which is a NRF2 activator just in a food form. And so at the conclusion of their study, this was not a LifeVantage funded study. This is a study by the drug company. Oh shoot, I'm sorry. That's the wrong way. I just clicked the thing. Their own journal entry says, interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer and therefore may be the most suited as a therapeutic strategy. That's amazing. Well, the rest of the story with BG12, or what's now known as Tecfidera, is it came out to market in November of last year. It sells $1 billion a quarter, and it costs the patients $50,000 a year to take it. And so Protandim, a bottle of Protandim is $40.99 a month for a month's supply. And the Muscular Sclerosis Journal just said that it may be a more potent inducer and therefore may be the most suited as a therapeutic strategy. Wow. Wow. It just blew me away when I read this. So this is proven. It's factual. And it's just so exciting. So what is Protandim made up of? 5 natural ingredients. It's made of ashwagandha, bacopa, green tea extract, curcumin, and milk thistle. And so what's special about those? You've probably heard of a couple of them. You might have heard of curcumin or milk thistle. But the thing that Dr. McCord developed was the synergy and the exact recipe of how much of each one of these ingredients needed to be put into completely make your nerve 2 activation the most potent that it could be. And so this is a research on Protandim, and it shows if you take all of these ingredients individually, this is all the nerve 2 activation that you get genetically in your genes. But all of the 5 together in their exact perfect recipe, you get an 18-fold increase in the expression of your antioxidants. So we have people ask us, well, I can go just buy all those 5 ingredients and take them. You can, but you won't get the 18-fold increase, and that is why Protandim Nerve 2 Synergizer is a patented, protected product. And that's important. Justin will kind of touch on that next in just a little bit. So our second product that I want to highlight is Protandim Nerf 1. So the amazing thing about this company is they didn't stop researching. So Nerf 2 pathway is the pathway that turns on the gene expression to create our own antioxidants. The Nerf 1 pathway, what it does is creates healthy mitochondria in our body. So go back to your 8th grade biology class. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It creates our energy. It makes our cells run well, run efficiently. It's kind of like the engine in your car. So if you haven't tuned up your engine in your car for a while, it might not run very well. It might run, but it may not get you all the way across the United States. So it's important to take care of your car and your engine and tune it up, and just as it is as we're learning to take care of the mitochondria in your body. So what are some diseases that are attached to mitochondrial dysfunction? Same thing, everything I say, you don't have to listen to me. You can go to PubMed.gov. You don't have to trust me. Go to PubMed.gov and research it for yourself. But mitochondrial dysfunction can cause diseases like epilepsy, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, diabetes, cancer. Huge one, huge. Put mitochondrial dysfunction and cancer in there. If you know anybody that has cancer, it could very well be tied to a mitochondrial dysfunction. ALS, Huntington's disease, fibromyalgia, cardiomyopathy, and autism. Those are just a few of them. And like I said, if you want to learn some more, this is just super high level. So go to PubMed.gov and kind of look at that by yourself. So Protandim Nerf 1, what the benefits of it is it increases your cellular energy, or your ATP. That's where our energy comes from. Are you tired all the time? You can't keep functioning very well. You wake up in the morning and think, oh my goodness, I have to have a nap by the end of the day. Most likely you have sick mitochondria. And that's just happening with aging. So this will help those mitochondria become healthy again. It improves performance through energy production. It improves your sleep quality. It boosts the mitochondrial production and their ability to network. So that's Protandim Nerf 1. The third product that we feel like is an essential for you is our Physique Probiotic. Why is this important? Wow, have I learned so much about a probiotic. I've always known that we needed to take a probiotic. That's super important for you. But 80% of your immune system is found inside of your gut. And so if you don't have a healthy gut and your microbiome is sick inside of your gut, you might be very susceptible to colds, flu, everything that comes by, allergies, sinus and mouth issues. Are you depressed? You have anxiety, ADHD, acne, thyroid issues, adrenal fatigue. A lot of that is attached to having an unhealthy gut. So there's a lot of great probiotics out there, but what makes ours different? Again, it's the science. And this is a patented probiotic. And make sure somebody shows you what it looks like. But ours is, it has a BioTract patented technology, which makes it into a little sphere. It's a little bitty ball that you take, and it was created that way and patent protected because it is able to get the distribution of the most amount of the bacteria all the way through your intestinal tract. So one of the things is all probiotics are not created equal. Most of them that you buy that are at the store are dead on the shelf, or when you take them, 95% of the good bacteria die in your stomach acid. So it's super important to go out there if you're going to purchase a probiotic and don't waste your money on one. Find one that has some research behind it. Our research done with the BioTract technology and the Wellmune, which is a prebiotic, which also helps your immune system, is patent. It's proven that the technology in our probiotic, the survival rate of the microorganisms is 60%. So 60% of those little bacteria that you put in your mouth make it all the way through to your colon. And it's also deposited throughout your intestinal tract, which is where you need it to be. It has changed my life. Our probiotic has changed my life. And so I will, same thing, there will be never a day that I go without our probiotic. So it's an overview on it. And our fourth product, which is in our biohacking starter set, is the Omega Plus fatty acids. Fatty acids, fish oils are so important for brain health, cardiovascular health. And what makes ours unique is the Omega Plus is molecularly distilled, which means it's the highest quality of fish oil that you can get. One of the other things that's interesting about ours is it has vitamin D in it. 85% of Americans are deficient in vitamin D. And so it's very, very important to be taking a vitamin D into your body every day. And ours also contains omega-7. Omega-7s are used for weight management, and it also improves your metabolism. So this fish oil is unique in the realm of, I've taken a lot of fish oils before, and you kind of get the fish burps behind some fish oils. And so I was a little nervous about taking ours. If you're getting fish burps, you're not taking a good fish oil. So this one I take all day. Somebody challenged me to bite into the fish oil, like bite it and let it come in my mouth. Ours are flavored with lemon lime flavor, and there was no fishy flavor at all to it. So if your fish oil has a fishy kind of rancid thing, you need to find a different fish oil. And so this one, in my opinion, is the best one on the market. And those are the 4 products together that create our vitality stack. So we have a face system. And why do we have a face system? Well, if you'll go back to that LSU research article, LSU reached out to Dr. McCord right after that ABC video and said, we'd like to study protandum and melanoma skin cancer. They did. The outcome was that the protandum pretty much ate the melanoma skin cancer up in the petri dish. So LSU came back to LifeVantage and said, wow, this is unbelievable how Nerf2 fought against melanoma cancer. So not only do we think that you should be taking it inside of your body, but we think you should create a face system that does it from the outside in. So our face system has Nerf2 technology. Where it's also patented. We're the only Nerf2 technology face system that's on the market. There are very high leading face system people that are out there trying to develop their own, but right as of today, we are patented protected, and so it makes it unique. But the anti-aging cream, the number 4 step right here in this, is the one that LSU was developed after LSU. And so you can see that picture, but not only is it anti-aging, it's protective of your skin. Love it. I love it. And it's great on your skin. So we have another product. It's called Axio. This is our brain food. It is in the energy drink realm, but it is not an energy drink. I've never gotten shaky from it. It just clears out the brain fog. Has some really amazing ingredients in it. DHEA, New Zealand pine bark, which is an activated form of folic acid that goes actually across the blood-brain barrier for you. And so just some amazing things. But here's just some proof right here. This is a little boy, ADD, ADHD child. This is his spelling words. And on the left, you can see that it was before Nerf2 activation and Axio, and this is after 1 week on Nerf2 and Axio. And this is actually a doctor that's in our group. This is his 9-year-old nephew, actual spelling words. And so this is a super high overview, but Axio is definitely a must if you want to have energy through the day and clear thinking. So there's lots of flavors, and if you're at a home meeting, I think there's probably some samples you guys can try. So make sure you reach out and get some of that. We have a weight management system, not a weight loss system, a weight management system. The probiotic is part of that. I already talked about that. There's a very gentle cleanse that's in there, an intestinal cleanse, which I do every month. There's a yummy protein shake. It's vanilla flavored that my kids all drink, and Justin every single day. And then a fat burn, which targets visceral stomach fat, or the fat that's surrounding your organs, which is the most harmful fat that's in our bodies and leads to disease. So this is just a picture of a guy. Obviously, it was not just the weight management system he used. He might have used a couple weights, obviously, and some ab work along with it. But we just finished a physique challenge, and the 2 winners in 90 days just earned a full paid trip to Atlantis in the Bahamas, and they're going next week. And there's some pretty amazing before and after pictures. So we can get those to you also, but it's a great system. And then our last product I'm going to talk about real quickly is Pet Tandem. So yes, we have a furry form product, and we have Nerve 2 activation for your man's best friend. And so this came from out west. There were hunters, and they were feeding Protandem to their hunting dogs. And there's some miraculous YouTube videos. Go to YouTube and put in Protandem and dogs, and you will see just the most amazing video footage of where they weren't able to walk before to being back to the point where they could jump up in the back of pickup trucks again. And so these dogs cost tens and tens of thousands of dollars, and so these men just started giving their dogs supplementation. So the company developed a liver flavored one, and it also supports their cognitive function and their mobility and flexibility. And so go to YouTube and check it out. And one of the cool things about this is it is also the National Animal Supplement Council has endorsed Pet Tandem. And so that's important if you have a little furry friend that you love. So I'm going to turn it over to Justin. He's going to give you a few more points, and then we'll answer some questions.
Yeah, and I think what Jamie was talking about is just so important. Being able to understand what oxidative stress is, what it does to your body. I think once you can wrap your brain around what oxidative stress does, it's really a no-brainer that you want to get this in your body. But we make no claims that this treats, prevents, or mitigates any disease, but it doesn't take much to be able to put these steps together and know that if oxidative stress is tied to aging, is tied to every disease known to man, is ultimately tied to death. Well, if I could take something that was going to reduce that oxidative stress in my bodies to that 20-year-old or a newborn baby, as it was in the case of John Quiones, it just makes sense that you want to get that in your body and do the best that you can to for that. So like I said, it doesn't prevent any disease, but as Jamie pointed out, lots of disease research has been done in this area. So we talked about earlier, so how do we implement this? How do we get this in our bodies? Like I said, I think that's really a no-brainer of wanting to do that, but what's the best strategy for us to be able to get this in our bodies? Of course, we've got a couple of different ways that you can do that. One is there's 2 ways, because it's not on the retail shelves anymore, as we pointed out. You can become a preferred customer of a distributor, or you can become a distributor. The beauty of whichever one you decide to choose, you pay the same price for the products as a distributor would as for a preferred customer. It just kind of really depends on where you are. Right? So if you're just sitting here and you're thinking, wow, I've got to get this in my body, then by all means, whoever invited you, let them get you set up as a preferred customer on whatever products that you need. You set it up on a monthly subscription, and you can cancel it at any time. It's not a problem. But if you've been sitting here while Jamie's going through this and you kind of get this, right, and you're thinking, wow, not only do I need this, but everybody I know and love needs to know about this, then maybe you want to look at the business side of that. And hey guys, understand the business side is not for everybody, and there's some negative connotation sometimes that goes along with this way we go direct to public with network marketing. But I can honestly tell you that this is one of the best things that I've ever done. I love this company. I love the people that I've got to meet that I'd otherwise never known. Great friends, great growth journey for Jamie and I. And, we honestly say that, because we said yes to this a year ago, we've seen people's lives change, not only physically, but spiritually and financially as well, just because we said yes. And so that's really why we're so excited about that. And so, like I said, preferred customer, we can do that. The great thing about our company is that preferred customers make up about 80 to 85% of the people who purchase our products. That's amazing. That's unlike any other network marketing company you'll see. Most network marketing companies push you all to be distributors. Hey, we just want you to get the products in your body, right? But if you're falling in that category that you're Rolodexing names in your head and you're thinking, wow, I want to do this. You're in that 15 to 20% of the people who get involved with this that are natural sharers. Well, then maybe you do want to get involved with this. And I would challenge you that no matter what kind of business that you wanted to look at or get involved with, you want to run it through this curve that was developed at Harvard Business School, this innovation and adoptive curve that just you want to filter whatever your industry service product through this. And it's really a lot about timing, right? And so where do you fit on this S-curve? Yeah. So anyway, so you have the innovative stage. That's really early on. That was the Joe McCord, the video with John Quiones. That was the small biotech company. Those guys who led the way, did the research. That was early on. I would say the early adopter stage. That's where we are now. And if you're on this call, you're at the early adopter stage of this. I liken this product a lot to the Apple iPhone or the smartphone. This is where we were a few years back before the Apple iPhone 4. So we were just talking about smartphones. What does that mean for us? How will we use them? Weren't quite sure. So you had those early adopters that hopped on that. And then, by the time you got to the iPhone 5 and 6, that's really your early majority. That's when you really see that growth jump up. And then you get late into the phase of any business, the late majority, that's when you're getting into the iPhone 8, 9, and 10, and you have those laggards who will never use an iPhone, right? But they've all heard of it, right? So that's kind of where we are with this product. And you need to look at some of the trends that we're seeing in the marketplace today. So how are people buying? Think about Amazon 5 years ago. I mean, was it big? Yeah, it was big. It was pretty big 5 years ago. What about last year? It grew 15% from the previous year. It's just getting bigger, right? And that's our model. It's a distributor model. We have our products shipped from a distribution center straight to the end user. So it's not like you got to keep a big closet full of products and chase people down getting checks. This is so easy. This is not your father's network marketing business. It's done like this. I mean, this alone is a testament to how cool this business is. We got people all over this country. You got a little guy from Coleman, Alabama, who's getting to introduce this to you. It's just really, really cool when you think about it. So, I mean, think about some more of those trends. Stores like brick and mortar stores like Sears, JCPenney's, Macy's, even Walmart, they won't exist like we know them now. I would have never believed a few years ago that there would be no more Radio Shacks, right? I mean, that business is gone. Walmart just last year closed 100 stores. And I just read this last week where Walmart is about to buy this company out of India and go toe-to-toe with Amazon. So, they're not going down to Amazon without a fight. And so the whole dynamics of how we buy things is changing. And so, we are looking for innovators, risk takers, pioneers, those people who want to get there first. Like I said, I don't care what the product is or the service or the industry. Typically, the people who get there first have the biggest upside of potential. So, eventually down the road, everybody's going to jump on board with this. But, it's been my experience that by the time the average person knows about something, it's too late. As we said earlier, there's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of opportunity that you get just a few times in your life. We really believe that that's it and it is possible for those people who act, very soon on this. There's the generational money that will move this company. Jamie said it was a $200 million company. We will very quickly be a $500 million company and go beyond $1 billion. But we're in a $300 billion industry right now as it is. So while $200 million may sound like a lot to you, it's really a small piece of that pie. But think about this. This kind of blows me away. We will get to $1 billion probably in the next few years, if not sooner. But when we do that, LifeVantage will be paying out over $500 million in commissions. So the question is, how big a piece of that pie do you want? You know, we didn't get into this because of the business side of it. We got into it because of the amazing products, and we have amazing product testimonials ourselves that we could share with you if we had more time. But it just makes sense to follow the trends and see where this thing is going. You know, I don't believe we've hit that momentum phase yet, but I can tell you it won't be long. And if you've been paying attention to anybody who's invited you here to their Facebook feeds or things like that, we just signed up probably the biggest cardiologist, well known in the country, if not the world, top 5 female cardiologists in the world, from India. And she is just so excited about getting this into her patients' bodies. Look, guys, this is coming. We have a proven plan that's in place. And in my mind, it takes 3 things to be successful at this. 1, you've got to have a burning desire to have some kind of change in your life, no matter what that is. 2, are you coachable? Are you teachable? Can you follow a plan for the people who've done this before you and been successful? And do you have a good work ethic? And guys, outside of that, it doesn't matter what your education level is. It doesn't matter what your experience level is inside of network marketing. The floor is level. So I just mentioned that cardiologist who started, who's from India, who's excited about this. Guess what? She'll come in at a Pro 1 just like everybody else who joins this business. It's the ultimate equalizer, and just depends on how much you want to go after it. So the next thing I wanted to share is our income disclosure sheet that we're showing on the screen now. This is just a little quick summary of what the average person makes inside of LifeVantage. You'll see at the levels of Pro 1, 2, and 3. I kind of look at this as a little extra part-time money, right? But think about looking at a Pro 3 at an average of $580 a month residual income. When's the last time you got a $580 a month raise? I can tell you, I don't remember ever getting a raise like that per month, right? And it was said that if the average family would have had an extra $250 to $500 a month last year, then it could have prevented about 90% of foreclosures. So, while it's not a lot of money, that's money that makes a difference in people's lives. You look at the ranks of Pro 4s and 5s. When I look at that level, that's the supplemental income in my mind. And I really think of some of these baby boomers that are out there that, hey, maybe their retirement didn't quite do what their analyst told them it would do, and maybe they're a little bit short each month on what kind of income they need. How would an extra $1,200 to $2,500 a month help those baby boomers that are facing a shortfall in their retirement plan? This is the rank that Jamie and I have reached so far. We've been at this about a year, and we've reached Pro 4, and that helps a lot when you have 5 kids, 1 in college and 4 doing, all kind of different things. So it's really helpful. Our plan is to get on up there to the Pro 6 and Pro 7 levels. Then we start having some choices about, then we start having to make some decisions about how we want to pursue LifeVantage further. Right? We just had a chiropractor who reached the Elite Pro 7 rank, and his dad had an established, very busy chiropractor business. He just walked away from it to do this only at a Pro 7. I know most chiropractors are probably making more money than what that Pro 7 shows at about $12,000 a month, but he sees the potential. He sees the freedom that this affords to him, and that's why he's going after it. Look on down 8, 9, and 10. That's almost unimaginable for most people to be able to do this. I can tell you, because Jamie and I have been involved this last year, we've been to all the events. I've met these folks at the Pro 8, 9, and 10 levels who are making anywhere from $20,000 to almost $100,000 a month in residual income. I've met these folks. They don't have anything that anybody on this call doesn't have. Basically, what my takeaway from these individuals is they're just passionate about what we have. They have a huge belief in this company, and there's nobody going to tell them that they're wrong or stupid or crazy for doing this. I think Carrie Dickey, she made the statement that it's only the crazy people in this world that actually make a difference and change the world. And if you ever get a chance to meet her or watch some of her stuff, she is an amazing person who, by the way, is very close to us in our upline. Another key advantage that you have with this company that we could talk about a little bit later. But I love this because we're a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ. This is all transparent. This is, you can go look. This is required by the Federal Trade Commission that we have this stuff available. So it's full transparency. Nothing is hidden, right? So that's very important. So how do you get started? Like we said earlier, you either get started as a preferred customer or a distributor. This is the way you get in as a distributor. We have 3 different packs: a silver, gold, and platinum. And basically with each pack, you just get more product. You do appreciate some different discount levels. As at the silver pack, it's 20%, gold pack 25%, and the platinum pack 30%. And then you get tickets at the higher level to go to the events. You want to go to the events because it's going to fast forward your progress in this if you want to do this as a business. It also comes with your replicated website and things for you to get started, that proven plan that'll get you going right away. And as we said earlier, getting in as a preferred customer, there's a couple different ways. Jamie went over all the products. You can look at those. We really recommend the Vitality Stack. That's really your starting point for what we call biohacking our body and really taking control of this complex system and getting it to perform like we want. You can get that in the bottles, or you can get it in a nice, convenient travel foil pack for an extra $2 a month. And of course, there's the skin regimen for $140, just a phenomenal product where you get to put the Nerf 2 on the outside of your skin. I won't go real deep into how we pay or how we're paid. To just know that we're paid upfront money, residual income, of course, and matching bonuses. What I would like to point out is in the bottom right-hand corner is the Elite Pool. This is unique to LifeVantage in that it's not a profit share; it's a revenue share. So 4% of the total commissionable sales are put in a pool each month. And once you reach the level of a Pro 7, you get to share in 1% of that 4% pool. And then when you move to the 8, then you get an extra percent. And then all the way up to 4% of the bonuses for revenue. So that's great because for a couple of reasons. Obviously, what that does is, so if they're just killing it in Thailand and I'm a Pro 7, 8, 9, or 10, I'm going to get to share in that revenue, even though I don't have one person in the Philippines, right? So that's great because you're getting to share in the revenue of the company. But more so, what I love about this is it drives the right behaviors in that it gets everyone who's involved with the company to help you. You can reach cross-line, downline, upline. Everybody is more than willing to help you because of this. One of the reasons is because of this elite pool, and it drives kind of the right behaviors. And very, very powerful part of our compensation structure. Of course, whoever invited you can kind of dig into it a little bit deeper. You can feel free to call me, and we can talk about it, offline later if you really want to get the details of it. But it's a very lucrative compensation plan. And then I'll leave you with this. What I really love most about what we're doing is, while you're in business for yourself, you're not in business by yourself. We have a whole tool of products, a proven plan that's duplicatable, all the tech stacks that kind of help you manage your business. one thing that really impressed Jamie and I when we got in, we got in, we went all in, still trying to figure this out. We went to our first event, and none other than Mr. John Maxwell was on the stage, who is a guy that I've have a lot of respect for and followed for years and years. And when they have a quality of a guy like this pouring into the people who are in their business, I knew that we had made the right choice. And guys, we got a picture of this nice looking couple over in the bottom right hand corner, Sean and Michelle Poe. They're who signed us up in the business. Real unique. They're at the pro level, pro 9 level. So a great advantage for all of us that are on the phone is we can model these guys. They've done it the right way. They're available for us. That's not going to be what you get in most network marketing companies, right? You're going to get usually a bunch of people bumping around trying to figure this thing out. Well, guess what? We've got the people who figured it out. We've got the resources with the company, and it's just a great time to be a part of it. So, guys, that was a lot. Hopefully, hopefully you got some good information that you needed here tonight. We'll take a few minutes, open it up for questions.